Hey all, Lewis Conway Jr. here. I haven't had a chance to go live with you folks in a minute, but some pressing things on my mind. One of the things I wanted to talk about is housing after prison. You know, one of the hardest things for me to do after being released from prison was having to move into my mama's house after leaving there at the age of 18. So, you know, finding housing after prison, that is one of the things that it'll trip you up because you have to have employment to maintain that housing. And oftentimes after prison, you can't even find employment, right? So I wanted to share some tips that have been successful for me. You know, having a violent conviction makes it even harder to find housing, right? On top of trying to build a rental history, on top of trying to be able to, um, just build a life after prison. So one of the main tactics that I used coming out of prison was making sure that you go to a property that doesn't have over restrictive background checks. And even those that may have a background check after 7 to 10 years, sometimes they will forgive your conviction. As a matter of fact, when I got my first apartment in Austin, the places that I thought wouldn't do a strenuous background check ended up doing the most strenuous background checks, and the places on the other side of town wouldn't do a background check at all, right? The other thing is look for a house or look for something that is privately owned by an individual. That way you're able to plead your case to that person individually and in person, and it's kind of easier to have that conversation about why you have a conviction as opposed to them reading about it or doing a background check. And when I moved from Texas to New York, there was still that issue of a background check. And, you know, the thing that saved us is the fact that we were able to connect with a realtor who became our advocate. So if you are a realtor or if you're an apartment finder, you know, becoming an advocate for people who are formerly incarcerated can not only provide you your own niche, but it can also help folks like me that depend on people like you to kind of be the go-between the property owner and ourselves, right? I say ourselves because it was me and my wife. And so just thinking about as we're going into a new year, and particularly New Jersey, they're about to release almost 3,000 people. And so we've got to be very, very cognizant of the way the laws are set up to exclude people rather than include people. So I'm calling on county officials, I'm calling on government officials. Let us take a deep, long look at the way landlords are given certain rights that tenants aren't given. And perhaps we should recalibrate tenants' rights in a way that is more conducive to folks having a successful reentry after prison. All right. So I didn't want to take up too much time. I just realized that I hadn't done a live in a minute, and this was something that's been on my mind, and I want to talk to you guys about it. All right. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe, share this video with somebody. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, same name, Lewis Conway Jr. And of course, every Monday, still doing a check-in. But I'm going to be doing this more often because I realize that, you know, not everybody is really paying attention to the videos I upload, which is fine. But I realize that I need to put out more content that is relevant to what folks are going through in the moment. All right, so y'all have a good one. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and we'll do it again soon. Peace.